made Juneteenth a holiday. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, podcast land. Good morning, Gina Lee.
Good morning.
Good morning, CC Tates.
Good morning.
Good morning, Party Marty. We'll be joined by our other guests in shortly. If you're not aware who we are. This is the Donnie Glover Show, BlackUSA.News, being hosted on Wednesday now by It's Party Marty, Let's Talk, and his crew. Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. We now are your Wednesday. It's Party Marty, Let's Talk crew doing your Donnie Glover show 10 a.m. It sounds like a whole bunch to say, but it felt good saying it. I don't know how it sounded to y'all out there in podcast TV land, but I know how I felt. Once again, y'all, you know when it's on the morning and stuff, even though it's a little choking, button up, baby. Got the button up on. You know what I mean? That's a subject and stuff for y'all out there when you young men, even old men. Every now and then, stop always trying to find a reason why not to put some clothes on. Always trying to find a reason why not to put some clothes on. My wife is you know what I mean? I get in trouble when I leave the air because it'll come to my mind to come out my mouth because a lot of this stuff is just what we talk about. That's why we're here. That's why we're in your ear to make you comfortable and talk about a few topics and stuff. My wife has more, I call them pajamas. Anything that you wear around the house all day long is called pajamas. But my wife literally puts on an outfit every day, Gina, to walk around the house. It's always some leisure stuff. She got more matching sets. This is the Walmart pajama queen. We go to Walmart to get some soap and stuff like that. She always get another set of pajamas. And when she said these not pajamas, they walk around the house stuff. But
It's
you
called
can wear.
loungewear.
What is it called?
It's called loungewear.
Okay, I stand corrected. My wife has a lot of loungewear.
That's right.
Meaning that my
Right.
wife likes, with newlyweds, my wife like to look half decent, even when she walking around the house. She might have to pick up the paper. I know she got to do this. Everybody in podcast land, all you men out there, she got to answer the door and pick up the package off the porch from the Amazon, man.
Absolutely.
You got to do that 2-3 times a day. I'm gonna tell you one thing, he better keep delivering to the porch because I got too many packages and we don't have enough money for all these packages around here. And I hope Amazon, Mister, I don't have to kill both of y'all. I turn around that man ringing my doorbell, running off the porch and stuff like that, trying to see if I'm home. That's why I got that ring. Everybody out there, if you don't know what that ring doorbell is, get one. Get one. Get one. You know what I mean? Checking on you.
You know, Gina, you can get one, but don't use it for what my husband uses it for. It's a spy device for him. You know what I'm saying? People standing at the door, he be in another state. Somebody ring the doorbell, he'll start talking through the doorbell to scare the shit out of the delivery man.
Works every time, T, y'all.
Crazy.
Hey, real talk, just to make you laugh and smile, y'all. Hey, real talk, man. You have to have some outfits, y'all. I mean, even if you don't always go to church or something. I retired from the great Clifton T. Perkins, criminally insane, the best state job in the whole wide world. I wasn't in security there. I was in nursing. But I have people that work there that have to wear a monkey suit every day. They gotta wear that every day. And then you get off at the end of the day, man, put something on. Put something on. Just put an outfit on just to go to the store or change your shirt. I mean, before that other one, in my Richard, no, Red Fox voice, before you change your clothes, you got to wash your ass.
And another thing for all of those men out there who are white and women too, like my husband, who have more clothes than he got closet, just like we were talking about being a village to some of these young people last night, that's a noble gesture as well. You never know how good you feel when you look good. If you know a young man who may not have a suit or may not have a pair of dress shoes or something like that, treat him to one. You know what I'm saying? It'll make him feel like somebody, and maybe he'll act like somebody.
That's so true. I think it was a lot of programs they used to have. I think uh, he was part of one. Sounds like something that Ted would do, but it used to be a group that I saw, and they would have 100 men with 100 suits. They had 100 of these little black kids. I guess it didn't have to be black kids because this is, once again, y'all, we always want to remind y'all this is not a black show. This is not a white show. It's an informative show. It's an informative show. And if anybody out there, let's talk about us, we'll get it out the way. If anybody out there is in podcast land and you don't like a person just because of the color of their skin, he's white. If you don't like the person because of their occupation, he's a cop. If you don't like a person because of their religion, she's Jew, Gentile, Buddha, Muslim, stuff like that. If you don't like the person because of their sexual preference, they're gay, lesbian. If you don't like a person because something is wrong with their situation in your sick, twisted mind, it's not them that's sick. It's your dumb ass. It's you. It's you, y'all. I'm here to say what people want to say, but don't say. You know what I mean? I say that because people have a lot of hang-ups about different stuff that's wrong with people. That's biblical. My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I happen to be a Christian. You know what I mean? My religion is Baptist. That's just me, what I follow. But shout out to Kirk who taught me. I'm an ex dope fiend, drug addict. Good morning. Wonderful day to everybody. Good night. Good day, Anthony, my friend. But listen, real talk. I'm a ex West Baltimore dope fiend drug addict thug who God just shook, got together, made me who I am today. But my sponsor, who I didn't know, didn't grow up with, I used to be a person who just washed his cars. Kirk from off promoting myself from Fulton and well, I guess it's about Fulton and Baker over there. It's called Peachtree Car Wash. That's what I did, my addiction to get money. I met Kirk over there. He was somebody coming to get the car wash. I ain't going to say he took a liking to me because it wasn't such thing as taking a liking. It took a need. He realized that I was a good person. I meant well, but I was beat up. I needed a little help. You know what I mean? I didn't need help to get $5 more and stuff like that. I needed help for some knowledge and some talking and stuff. But he was a Muslim. And he never pushed that on me. And he told me something about some things. If y'all don't know, Muslims, and I'm not going to speak on them because I don't know the insight and just of, and we'll go right past religion. But he said, they just believed that Jesus Christ was a prophet, didn't believe he was the son of God. But we all pray to one God. All pray to one God. I don't care if you believe in Allah. I don't care if you believe in Jesus Christ. I don't care if you believe in Buddha. I don't care if you believe in the Jewish faith. I don't care if you worship. Tell them what I give them, Gina Lee. I don't care if you worship trees, blue Cadillacs in Druid Hill Park on the south side next to a tennis court. I don't care what you worship. You all pray to one God. One God, y'all. And my future daughter-in-law, Beatrice tells it all. It's just called faith. That's all it is, faith. Something to believe in. Believe in something. You know what I mean? Believe in something. So try not to be sick. Try not to be twisted. Try not to be out there worrying about people. We talked on the topic yesterday. The topic that Cece talked on was about the Olympics. We have a transgender person that's uh, entered into the female weightlifting. I guess she was a man by a bridge, born a man.
Right.
Lack of words, was born a man, but she's transgender. Now, I don't agree with her being in the competition against a bunch of females. That's my opinion. But I don't have a problem with her being a transgender. I don't have a problem with her being a transgender. Absolutely not. If that's what she chooses, absolutely not. I grew up in West Baltimore, by Bentlow and Winchester, and we had a person, Yogi, that grew up with us. Yogi was gay, as we call it now. Yogi was gay. Yogi was my friend. Plus, I meant to tell you something else too. Excuse me, not ASS, AS. AS. Yogi would whip that ass if you needed that ass whip. You feel me? So you wasn't talking to him slick out your mouth because of his sexual preference. Yogi would whip that ass. So we didn't know that. But Yogi was our friend. It was our buddy. He was hip and cool. He ain't never make no advancements in me. He didn't do nothing. That was his sexual preference. Played football, did everything. He just was That was his sexual preference. So I learned at an early age to accept people for who they were and how they were. I have a lot of people that's my good friends and stuff. Girls are like girls, guys are like guys. I didn't make them any different. You know what I mean? One of my favorite Gina Atkins is a nurse at the great Clifton T. Perkins. Gina Atkins is one of my best friends. Not one of my best white friends, one of my best friends, period. She just happens to be a Caucasian. But I don't know anything about her being Caucasian. I just know she's my friend. So
And
I just had to.
people fail to realize that, prejudice and things of that nature, those are learned behaviors.
Yeah.
Those are not those are not things that you're born with. You baby lay in the nursery, a black baby, a white baby, a green baby. You know what I'm saying? They all just babies. So this is behavior that's taught. And people have to be very, very careful with the things that they expose children to, because children are always listening. They're always watching, and they're a lot smarter than adults give them credit for. If your child see that you act a certain way to a man because his tendencies are feminine, or you make certain off-color comments, then what they learn is that this person is different. So just because this person is different, we don't like people that's different. And that's a dangerous precedent to set, because right now, while they small, it may seem like nothing. But when they grow up and become a member of the Proud Boys and the KKK and all of this kind of stuff, and then you wonder, I never taught my children this in my house. You may not have formally came out and said, we don't like this person or we don't like that person, but your behavior, the things that you do, you just have to be really careful about it. I see people all the time, this little stuff, when the kids are small and stuff, and they call somebody a faggy and all of this kind of stuff, and their parents think that it's cute. It's nothing cute about a disrespectful child. So
Nope.
those are behaviors, and as they get older, it just gets more deeply ingrained. They learn ways to act out their prejudices once they get older and stronger, and you know what I'm saying? And then they surround themselves with other like-minded people who are full of hate. And that's how these little groups pop up and form and stuff. So, and then everybody always acts like they're so shocked. But these are the same people that you see that they think this stuff is funny. A lot of stuff with kids that people think of is funny when they're small. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny for a 2-year-old to walk around saying bitch, excuse my French, because when they get 15 and they call you a bitch, then it ain't so cute then. You got to nip these behaviors in the bud, and you have to teach your children to be tolerant of people who are different, because the world is made up of all kinds of people, and we're all different in our own way. But you have to teach them to be tolerant of people who don't look like them, who don't think like them, who don't talk like them, who don't share the same views and ideals that they share. Just like you said, Maurice, we all worship one God. You have to teach your children that just because a person may be Jewish, or they may be a Muslim or Jehovah's Witness or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You got to be tolerant and open your mind, because on that aspect, a lot of my friends that worship differently than I do, I learn a lot of things from them. You know what I'm saying? Because all of these religions have a lot of commonalities. You just have to have an open mind, and that's what we need to make sure that we teach our children.
Excellent. Gina, comment?
No, I was just gonna say that's what those people that attack the Capitol, that's what they would grow up to be.
Exactly.
People
Exactly.
that are totally unable to accept change, or other people's opinions, or other races, other cultures, other religions. That's what you end up with.
Shout out to Karen Tates on that one of our panel members who is, haven't been around lately because they, people work. They have other things they're doing, people working. But Karen used to always have something she used to say, and we was on one of the comments or stuff like that. Well, what happened to the timeout class? What happened to, remember, when we came up, Gina's older than me. My wife is a lot younger than me, but she's older than me mentally. You know what I mean? Literally, my wife is. I fell in love with everybody. My wife's 46. I'm 64. I'm a lot older than my wife. I fell in love with intelligent conversation. My wife likes to read. She likes to talk. I enjoy talking to her, but she doesn't put up with a whole bunch of dumb, stupid conversation. That's what it is. There's none of that in my house, and it works out for me. But she said something that was heavy. She was talking about new phase of different things. Gina Lee and I came along when I listen, real talk podcast land. My mother would be in jail today. They'd have been
My,
locked. My mother would have
my too.
been locked up,
Hmm.
abused. You know what I mean? My mother abused us, not like you think of. But let me tell you something. When you did something to get a beating, you got a beating. You got a beating in church. You got a beating in school. When you did it, you got it. You was too late coming off Riggs Avenue playing, and you knew that you were supposed to be home. She come down on Riggs Avenue, and you got it on Riggs Avenue. And I used to watch
Right.
some of them could run. Their mother kept they run and go home and get it. My mother would say, "I dare you." And you stood right there and she grabbed you by your arm and hit that butt, pop, 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 told you, then you could run home. But you know,
With
all
that
it was so,
ass.
yeah, you better not. Yeah, that's what
Mhm.
but that's the bad part. Do you know, I don't know about the rest of them, but I know Gina because I grew up with her since Gina and I went to kindergarten together. We've been friends literally over 60 years. Let me tell you something. I was trained to the look after I was 8 or 9 years old. I ain't getting no more beatings. My mother
Me
looked at you.
neither.
Whatever the hell you was doing, you
Right.
stopped doing it. You ain't had to get no. My cousins be running around, they be making noise, doing stuff, playing stuff, and I be playing with them, and all of a sudden I could feel it. I could feel them eyes looking across Thanksgiving dinner plate table at me. I could feel. I said something wrong. I said, huh? Something wrong. And I look around, and sure, here she looking at me. Guess what I do? I stop. They throw the ball one more time in the house. I let it. The ball hit me in the face, the head, chest, everywhere. I ain't catch it. I ain't touching that ball no more. Come on, you
Dang.
can't catch. No, I don't want to get a beating. So I was trained to that. You know what I mean? So as a child, I had a chance to be whatever I want in life. And life, my situation is probably different than most. I wasn't never beaten, abused, raped, molested, or abandoned. I chose to be a drug addict thug. I could be anything that I wanted in life. I got a chance to be them all. You know what I mean? Went to college, did them all. I chose because I wanted to be a thug. That was on me, but it wasn't because of my upbringing. I'll leave you one last thing before we get into our prayer and what have you. We did use up a good portion of the show just getting live, and I really enjoy this. Hey, listen, I listen to people that don't understand things. My wife used the word bitch, and a person will look at that and say, "Oh my goodness, did she just cuss?" Don't you know the words have meanings? A bitch is only a female dog. Up there running around next to my wife right now is my dog Cookie that I love. She's a bitch. That's that. We real talk. It's a
Yeah.
female dog. We go off and we get our slangs in us, y'all, and we think that our slangs is it. It brings to a topic. I own a Party Marty's Moon Bounce. Shameless self promotion. I'll be sending the band across at a minute. You know what I mean? My wife and everybody showed me that. But anyhow, you people don't understand that. I'm gonna give it to you the best way. People don't understand small things like this. We teach our kids things. Let's spearhead with piggyback on what Cece said. We teach our kids that. I'm not saying anything wrong with a person bow leg. I'm not saying that anything is wrong. I know it's cute and cuddly, but I want y'all to think about stuff that we teach and it's gone down the line and we think it's normal and it's cool. Remember how women always say, "I like him over there. He bow legged. He's sexy." You get what I'm saying? Nobody takes time to realize, that bow-legged is really a birth defect. Do y'all know that being bow-legged is a birth defect? We right now tell them it's sexy and it's cool. But when I came along, Gina Lee and I was bow-legged too. You know what I had? I had stride right shoes on. I had two pair of hard bottom shoes that had a bar going across the middle of them. And at night when I slept with both my legs pinned together with two white shoes with screws in the bottom of them hooked to a bar to straighten my legs out. Because it wasn't hip and cool to be bow legged then. It was a birth defect. And it's funny, I ain't bow legged no more, so it worked.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me correct you. I was about to say I love you, but that didn't work. You still bow-legged.
Must be Verizon.
I just
We
want
having
you to know
problems here.
in case you don't know. I understand the whole concept, but for you it didn't work. You still
My
bow-legged.
my my wife just saying that because she wanted her to think her husband's sexy. So she said, "Yeah, babe, I'm only
You are
bow-legged
still
because I'm
bow-legged.
sexy." Hey, let's get into the show, y'all. Hey, y'all, listen, everybody. We have a quick. We get our prayer in, and then we have a quick moment of silence, and we go in with the show. Prayer starting. Father God, thank you for the wonderful things that's going on in all our lives. Father God, thank you for the podcast. Father God, please bless Donnie Glover, BlackUSA.News, BeMoreNews.com. Anybody affiliated with the show, Father God, please, 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 please put your hand over them people over there fighting these God-forsaken wars, the soldiers, the troops, the people that send them stuff over there while we sit over and do podcasts, eat bonbons, and hang out at the club. Father God, please keep them well. Father God, please, as we always say, we pray for the persons dealing with this pandemic, persons that's lost their lives, the family that suffered from it, just everybody. Father God, we'll end our prayer with the normal. All we want to do is for you to keep us in your circle, keep us under your umbrella. We pray for something simple as grace and mercy. Moment of silence, please. Amen.
Amen.
Hey y'all, moving right
Amen.
along. Thank you for this time. We'll go off now. If y'all don't know what I do, my name's Maurice Tates. They call me Party Marty. We are called our group. It's Party Marty's Let's Talk. We are affiliated with BlackUSA.News. Our producer and sponsor is Donnie Glover. BeMoreNews.com. He's Channel 11 political analysis. He's the author of two books that we know of. The first one is Unapologetically Black. The second one is, what does it say?
I am Black Wall Street.
I Am Black Wall Street. If you're on Facebook, I'm look on there. If we don't know, this Saturday I'll look at my phone and get the information. This Saturday, Gina Lee and CC Tates will be saluted, honored, awarded, huh, as BlackUSA.News, Joe Mann Awards winning Black Wall Street's new recipient of the Black Wall Street Award. Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. I'll be posting during the show exactly where it is. It's also Donnie Glover's birthday. Donnie Glover will be there while they're there handing out the awards. He'll be signing his new book. This is a big day Saturday. It's from 5 to 7. It's a short thing. If you went over here and you've seen the podcast, here's a little sneak thing I throw in there. If you come up to me while we're down there at the show, now you got to remember all of this for it to work because you get one chance. If you tap me on the right shoulder, tap, tap, 2 times. Tap me on the right shoulder, tap, tap, 2 times and say, Dr. Sutton said, Party Marty, you'll buy me a drink that I'm treating. If you want to say that way I know that you were watching the podcast, you're there to support and what have you. Come up, tap me 2 times, real smooth, like tap, tap. Don't hit me hard because I won't buy you a drink, but I will hit you in your mouth. Tap me 2 times and say, Dr. Ted Sutton said, Party Marty. If I tell him up, tap you 2 times on your right shoulder, that you'd buy me a drink. And guess what? Party Marty's buying a drink. Now, I want y'all to all know, all you beer drinkers, riches drinkers, and stuff like that, that's what you need to order. Don't start ordering no Hennessy on Party. You ain't been drinking. All right, y'all, if y'all don't know how I do this thing, I got this thing called Segue In. Gina loves it. CC loves it. All podcast land love it. I don't care if you're Bob Barker. I don't care who you are. Olsen, I don't care if you got a TV show, you're Richard Dawson and stuff like that. Only one person has the smooth podcast move on It's Party Marty Let's Talk, and that's me. Watch how I do this thing. Watch how I do this thing. Hey, Gina and Lee, what do I call that? What I'm getting ready to do?
Segue in.
I'm getting ready to segue in real smooth. Like, here's how I do it. I say, Gina Lee, how you today? What's your topic? I'm Party Marty. Let's talk.
This is Gina Lee reporting for Party Marty Let's Talk. And my topic today is something that we may not have associated as uh, something important that we should know in history. Um, on June 17th, well, we all know that Juneteenth has now been signed into law. That was last Thursday. And June 19th is the actual holiday that we'll be celebrating. But just wanted to say that I found this to be very interesting that on June 17th, in 1815, African Americans got together in Charleston, South Carolina, because they wanted to have a church of their own. They were tired of attending the white segregated churches that their masters made them attend. So they wanted to form a church of their own, and they did. They named it Mother Emanuel AME Church. And their first preacher, the pastor, believe it or not, and it shocked me, was Denmark Vesey. And if you know, Denmark Vesey led a revolt that, it took his life, but he was fearless against, oppression and injustice. So they formed this church and they started to pool their money to buy the freedom of their enslaved church members. And of course, the white establishment didn't like that. So they burned the church down.
Wow.
And not only that, in order to leave an indelible mark on the past parishioners, they took some of them and they executed them. And Denmark Vesey was one. And it just kind of touched me because this church was rebuilt, and this is the same church where Dylan Roof, if you know who I'm talking about, the young man that was ingrained with white supremacy, went in and shot 9 members of the church, all Black, including the pastor.
He was the one that they took out for the cheeseburger afterwards.
I was like, this is the same church, So I just wanted to mention this because it just shows that, just like you said, Cece, these are things that we are taught. If this can happen all the way back in 1815, and then again, Dylan Roof does this on June 17th. Can you believe it? The same day that they signed the Juneteenth bill of 2015, he goes into the same church and massacres 9 people.
And trust me, the timing of that was not a coincidence.
Where did this happen at, Gina?
Charleston, South Carolina. It's not called Mother AME anymore. It's called the Emanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church.
I think Gina, when Dr. Sutton, Dr. Ted came in and told us that, which I didn't know. I thought that Black Wall Street was one specific place. I thought that was just something that happened. That was the Black Wall Street massacre. But most
Oh, there's a
towns,
bunch of them.
it's a bunch of them. We didn't know, y'all. If you're out there listening, this information that's all podcasts do. At
It's
least our
over two
podcast.
dozen. It's over 2 dozen massacres. I've
Wow.
looked. I've read about them all. It's about 2 dozen. I'll bring up another one next week so we can maybe just educate ourselves on these things so we know.
Yeah. And and CC commented on that. First, Gina, first good topic. If you want to finish, you can finish. But great topic. Enlightening us. CC commented on that. If you don't know what incident they're talking about, that's the one where they took the wonderful kid and had him sitting next to the police car on the ground eating a cheeseburger. They took him to Burger King or McDonald's or something like that. They always come out alive. You know the sad part about the wonderful people, only way these mass murderers and killers die is if they kill themselves. Because they don't get killed by the
Mm-hmm.
law. They don't get killed by the
Yes.
law. They always bring them out alive. We can't even smoke. We can't sell cigarettes. You know what I mean? Can't have a fake $20 bill. Can't be in our bedroom without the door getting kicked in and getting sprayed. Can't you what was up on Park
Can't
Ice?
even sit on your sofa and eat a bowl of ice cream.
It'll never go on. A boy at a cigarette lighter can't like reaching for your cigarette lighter. You know what I mean? Richard Pryor made it famous on us. You know what I mean? When they asked him, when they pulled him over, the police pulled him over, license and registration. Richard Pryor, remember the joke? He said, "I am reaching into my pocket because I don't want to be no damn accident." You gotta
Mhm.
tell, go out and tell them what you're doing, y'all. We've come a long way, but y'all, we got a long way to go. We got a
Yes.
long way to go.
Yes,
We've
we
been
do.
beat up, murdered, stomped, raped, killed. When they start talking about how CC and Gina was talking about how this is a learned behavior prejudice, don't you know that Grandma Ubayuju, who was the nurse to the slave owner's wife, what they call them, midwives or something like that, that really helped raise the little white kid. Don't you know she had children of her own? And that little colored boy, they called him colored back in the day. That little colored boy and that little white boy played together every day till they was 5 or 6 years old. Best of
Mm,
friends, hugging, wrestling, everything. And then by the time he got 8, he realized that this person was a slave, and I'm the slave owner. So we're no longer friends. We can no longer
mm,
hang out together. We can't wrestle together. That was a learned behavior. Somebody taught him that because he didn't know no
right,
better when he was playing.
right,
He didn't know no better when they were playing. These things are learned behaviors. The
right.
same church, Gina. The same
The
church.
same church.
That's unbelievable. Talking almost 100 years later.
Right.
That's
Right.
that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. And it's sad. Well, y'all don't know Gina Lee is our historian. When she goes off on her topics, that's what she does. She does a lot of research. She's an award-winning podcast historian, and she's part of the It's Party Marty Let's Talk team. And that was one of her topics. Thank you very much, Gina. That was real informative. Gina always has 2 topics, so she'll be back on the show. Hey, you know what I mean? Now we're moving along to Cece. She's our anchor in our presentation as usual. Cece loves it. That's my lovely wife. The highlight of her day is when I segue her in. She always look at me. She said, "Baby, do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing, baby." Okay. Here we go, y'all. Podcast line. I'm Party Marty. Watch how I segue in. I say. Good morning, Cece. What's your topic? I'm Party Marty. Let's talk.
I'm CC Tates reporting for Party Marty Let's Talk. And my topic for this morning is less of a topic and more of a talking point. But just like we said, these incidents with police brutality and all, they just never ending. Every day it's one in the news. So I was happened to be looking at the news this morning. Excuse me, everybody, but the dog is running around underneath my foot. That's why my camera's shifting. So just bear with me. But um A young
Listen,
man.
excuse me. I don't mean to cut you off real quick, but that's why you got to watch. Because right now, you're politically correct, Gene, in which she would say, sit down, bitch. But see, and because she's a
I
female
would
dog.
never.
But no, in podcast land, we realize persons and I don't mean to cut you off. Let me get that in there real quick. I don't have the immense vocabulary that CC does. My wife is smart. She's a talker. She likes to read. We always tease her because when she's on the smoothie cleanse and she reads everything that we eat. But when I seen her reading the ketchup bottle, I was done with her. And then when I told Gina, I said, you do know you in the market for 5 minutes reading the ketchup bottle. She said, I know. Do you know what's in the ketchup? I like Heinz. She get ready to mess it up for me with the Heinz. She gonna mess up Heinz ketchup now. All she does is
Just a
read. That's
bottle
what
of
it is.
sugar. Just a
Yeah, but
bottle
there
of
we go.
sugar.
And I didn't even. I like Heinz. And Gina Lee's a historian. But what I'm saying, get back to that. Y'all, use words in its context. Use words in its context. I have a few words, my go-to words, legerdemain, appalled, loquacious. I have a few words that I go to. Those are my go-to words. I need to do a little better and get more. Uh, Gina gave me one last week. I forgot.
Lament.
Lament. Yeah. Let me lament y'all on that. You know what I mean? Because when I came along, my go-to word was real simple: supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Oh my
Now
goodness.
say that real fast, everybody. Hey,
Mm, mm,
CC
mm.
Star, but y'all play around with some words. When I talk to Donnie, Donnie is he has an avid vocabulary, so he uses words in this context. I listen at him and throw a few of them back at him every now and then, But get yourself some words. Stop thinking that everything is a cuss word. A bitch is a female dog. You know what I mean? You never use that when you talk about the dog. You may use it when you talk about your buddies, your mom, or something like that. You know what I mean? But try to use words in their context sometimes so we can sound like we listened at a podcast. Go ahead, see. Before you were so rudely interrupted. Go ahead.
Carry on, carry on. But I was just going to say that I was looking at the news and I saw that there was an incident, and I don't have the name right off the top of my head because this is something that just very recently happened. A young man in Florida, a mixed race teenager, was visiting his girlfriend, and a Florida state trooper pulled up and chased him into the girlfriend's backyard and said that he looked suspicious. He looked like a burglar. Now, he was just walking down the street. He had on a black shirt and a black pair of pants. He wasn't wearing a mask. He didn't have gloves. He wasn't creeping around under the window, nothing like that. But he looked like a burglar. So the young man ran into the backyard of the girlfriend and was on the phone texting her, who the young lady happened to be Caucasian, and telling her to come outside because he wanted her to prove to the police that he could be there.
Okay.
Before the trooper is steady telling them, put your hands up, put your hands up. Now, he's standing about 5 or 10 feet away from the young man, so he can clearly see what's in his hand. He can see that it's not a weapon. He's not from a distance, or it wasn't questionable or anything. They were standing in the same backyard. And the young man is like texting the girl, telling her to come outside, come outside. Before the girl could even get outside, the trooper tased this young man, and he fell when the taser hit him and hit his head on a stone fire pit, broke the fire pit. That's how hard he fell. And he still, after the girlfriend came outside and the trooper knew that he was authorized to be there, he was still arrested and put in a juvenile detention facility for resisting arrest and fleeing a police officer. Now, the use of force was unwarranted, unnecessary, and for the boy to be locked away like a criminal when he did absolutely nothing wrong but visit his girlfriend. And it's just so hard to continue to keep saying that this is not racial profiling that's going on. What does a burglar look like? If he had blonde hair and blue eyes and he was walking down the street with a black shirt and a black pair of pants on, would he have looked like a burglar in that instance? So I mean, these things just keep coming up. They happening every day. And I just think that, every time I hear about one, I mention it, because the only way that we have to bring these things to the forefront. We can't keep keeping them to ourselves and, not saying anything and thinking that we're going to get justice. We have to call these people out, because that's the only way that we're going to come anywhere close to having a resolution or any kind of justice in these incidents. The boy's mother was a Caucasian woman, and she said, "It's no doubt in my mind that they profiled my son because he was a mixed race teenager." But I don't know where or when it will stop, but I think that awareness is always a good place to start.
Gina.
Mm. I it's just sad. Um, I just, I mean, you hate to hear these stories over and over and over again, you know, where, this police are just using their authority to slaughter innocent people. That's all. It's like,
Slaughter.
it's the truth.
What a word.
And
Slaughter.
in a lot of these
Jesus.
instances, I think that these officers are, just like I said, prejudice is a learned behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that some of these people have not interacted with people in the communities that they serve. Some of them have never, the big joke is always, some of my best friends are black. You know what I'm saying? But some of them have never spent time in the company of African American people or people of color to really, they only basing what they think on what they've heard. So they operating from a place of fear to begin with. So soon as they see these young men and women that don't look like them, you know what I'm saying? They only thing they going on is what they heard. I used to always find it so funny when I worked at the great Clifton T. Perkins that people would always say, "You live in the city? You're not scared to work evening shift and go home?" And I told them, I said, "Why would I be afraid of somebody that looks like me?"
Right.
So I'm more afraid when I'm out here on these dark Howard County roads with all these bushes and no street light. I'm more afraid here than I am walking down North Avenue, because I know the drill when I'm walking down North Avenue. Mind your business and go home. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? Does it
yeah.
always work? Absolutely not. But
Mm.
I know what to do in that situation. But some of these other places that they consider safe and everything, I don't know what to do with that.
You,
So I say that to say that they just going out here and they doing this stuff because of what they've read in the media, of what they've seen and heard, and everything. And it's just that they have never taken the opportunity to know the communities that they serve. And I think that that is so important. They need to make sure that it's a some kind of, I don't know what kind of training that will be, but they need to be exposed to the people in these communities so that every time you see a young black man or a young black woman, you won't feel threatened.
when they
You know?
talk about that, we in West Baltimore, if you're not from West Baltimore, they call it murder capital. They know, we're the home of the Freddie Gray and all that kind of stuff. But y'all know, all of us that live here, West Baltimore was about the safest part of the world to us.
Right.
We're not afraid in West Baltimore at all. Over East, East Baltimore had more events, more stuff. They used to a whole bunch of outdoor stuff. Over East to me is rougher. You know what I mean? When you start talking about, shout out to my good friend Tiffany Wiggins and shout out to Irvin Reed. You ever talk about him? He's on the show often. Irvin Reed always says rich, raised in Cherry Hill. That's what he calls the word rich. I'm blessed. I'm rich. RICH, raised in Cherry Hill. Cherry Hill's not where I want to be raised at. But the people that's from there, I come up with shout out Kason, my good friend, and Lenny Harmon and them from the neighborhood. But They love Cherry Hill. It's all in your comfort zone where you are. You know what I mean? It's all in your comfort zone. So that's what's up. Make man make good conscious decisions, y'all, to try to do better. That's what we ended the show. Gina came on last night for about 15 minutes, the last 15 minutes, and impacted the show like no other. She said, just everybody, just try and do better. Each one teach one. If it is to be, let it start with me. NA, just say no. Some of these things, don't just keep being a Bible thumper, just reciting stuff and it don't have no meaning to you. Don't have no meaning to you at all. Just something you throwing out there. Don't mean anything. You know what I mean? That's what we talk about. Words that you use. You know how to cuss. You learn how to cuss. You know how to call people skunks and MFs and Bs and all that kind of stuff like that. But you won't learn another word. I'm appalled that you don't learn the word appalled. You know what I mean? Every now and then, try to learn yourself a new word. Try to learn yourself a new word. Hey, CC, great topic. You know, per usual. I'm gonna get in there before Gina's our historian. You know, Gina always brings us home with another topic. I'm gonna jump in here for a minute and talk about something for a second. I want to talk about commitment. You know, commitment to anything, commitment to everything, commitment to yourself, commitment to your car, commitment to your job. You need to be a little more vigilant on doing a little bit better. I ain't say to turn everything around because y'all know I'm a lot better now. But Gina's been knowing me a long time, and Cece gets to see me because I'm a husband all the time. I got anger management issues. But you'll never see them in the forefront. You know what I mean? You see Gina Lee, she's beautiful, keep her hair done, this, that, you know, is a retired from the state and a historian. Gina Lee don't know nothing but fight. I came up with
That's
Gina
it.
Lee when we
That's it.
came along. The girls fought with the boys at Druid Hill Park
That's it.
swimming pool. And Gina don't get no pass if we fighting. We fighting. She better be swinging too. We came
Mm-hmm.
up fighting. We went to other pools. She went to the pools with us. If somebody came in
Mm-hmm.
there, you didn't. My father taught me this. My brother, one of my brothers, was down the street and was fighting and stuff like that. And the fight broke out, and he came home to. I know why he came home. He came home to run. Everybody back in the day, underneath of your father's mattress was a gun. That's where it was. So he ran home. I knew what he was doing. He ran home to get the gun. So he ran upstairs and ran in my father's room and stuff like that. But his luck was bad. My father happened to be home sitting on the bed. So he played up. What you know? How many said Andre down the street fighting? Andre down the street fighting. First of all, Andre was always down the street fighting. Shout out Catherine Tates when you start talking about the bad kids and all that. The bad kids were yours. Run tell that when y'all started talking about all these bad boys down there, bad kids in the neighborhood, we the Tates is from the 1200 block of Bentlow Street. It's five of us. The bad boy, I don't have no sisters or nothing like that. Just boys, rough, tough, root tooting thugs. And let me tell you something. When you start talking about them bad boys, the bad boys, Catherine, were yours. I'm Black Purdy and Auntie Bonnie's little brother. You got a big family, you got them all, Mo. My two oldest brothers are millionaires. Donnell is an inventor. He invented the cord on the cell phone. If you have not the cell phone, the phone off your wall has a fire retarding on it. Google it. Walter Donnell Tates, my brother, invented that. You know what I mean? He helped invent a good portion of the optic fiber crystals. My oldest brother owns a bunch of school buses. He's retired now, but he's well-to-do and what have you. And that's what he was. And then my other two brothers, when we got big families, you got them all. I got good doing brothers, and I got murderers and dope fiends too. You know what I mean? You got a big family, you have them all. So don't always just talk about your good son. My son's an engineer, this, that. Talk about the son that's over there with me in Hagerstown that you come visit. Talk about that
Hello.
too. Yeah, talk about that too. Talk about all your kids. Y'all always on Facebook and Instagram telling everybody how wonderful your life is, how you going on vacation. Here's a picture of your new car. Here's your outfit. Woo woo, look at me. Woo woo, look at this. And then the first thing you do, you turn around and talk about this job get on my nerves. This job ain't nothing. I'm gonna get rid of this job. I can't stand this job. Well, where the hell you get money to go on vacation and buy that car and all that stuff? Let me tell you where you got it from. That job that you keep bad mouthing. That damn job. Clifton T.
Yeah.
Perkins got on my nerves like every other job. But whenever you hear me and my wife Cece talk about Clifton T. Perkins, we call it the same thing. The best state job in the world. First of
Yeah.
all, I met my wonderful wife there. Me and my
Yeah.
wife worked together for 7 years and never thought about each other. We were just friends. We talked, said hi. We were co-workers. Y'all get to work and you got screw everybody you work with. You got to have a relationship with everybody you know. You got 5,000 girls out there and you steady looking across the table making goo-goo eyes at your homeboy's girl with your sick ass self. Make some commitment to making some common sense. That's what I like about West Baltimore. Dumb things like that get your wig split. You know
and
what I mean?
another
But it
thing, And another thing, excuse me for cutting you off,
go
that
ahead.
I just wanted to say about making commitments. Once again, you have to teach your children to honor their commitments. That first commitment that they start off with is school. You know what I'm saying? You got to go there and you have to do your part. Everything can't be on your mother, everything can't be on the teacher, the principal. You have to make a commitment to get in there and do what needs to be done. I always used to tell my children, you go to school for you, you don't go for me. I
That's
already
their
been to
first
school.
job.
That's right.
That's
Their
your
first
first
job.
job. And it's an
Yeah.
indication of how you're going to handle the job that pays you. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go in and be disruptive and nobody can tell you anything and you know everything, the same way that you are when you're in school, that's how you're going to be in the workplace. And it will not fly. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start teaching those things at a very early age. They have to know how to stick to how to honor their commitments. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn that your word has to be your bond. If you say you're going to do something, then I trust that you're going to do it because I don't have any reason not to believe you. But once you show me that your word can't be trusted, then this it's a whole nother animal after that. So,
People are
these are things, and I guess a lot of this stuff is coming to my mind this morning because y'all know I had the grandkids last night. They sitting right here trying their best to be as quiet as they possibly can, and I love them to death. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta you just can't expect these things to come automatic. Somebody has to teach these things, and somebody has to make sure that it's understood, because this world that we live in, especially being born people of color, which is already a strike against us. You know what I'm saying? We have to teach them to be the best version of themselves. A person that can't honor their commitments is not the person that is going to get the job. It's not the person that's going to get the college scholarship. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
those things take commitment.
That's right. See, good point. I'm gonna bring mine home before we go over to Gina Lee with the next topic. Um, I was speaking about words that we use in their context and bigger words. Here's some other words, some regular words that we use every day. And I want you to feel it. Well, in my family, it's a word that we don't ever say. You'll never hear my kids or myself say the word sorry. I want y'all to think about that. Just say the word sorry. It's a sorry word. Say it when you feel it. It rolls out of your tongue. Sorry. I did it. I'm sorry I did it. Stop being sorry. You knew you did it. You knew that was my car when you broke in it. You're not sorry. You sorry you got caught. And take this with you. Pop. You know what I mean? Sorry. Stop saying you're sorry for things. We apologize for a lot of stuff. Man, I was wrong. I apologize. I was wrong. I apologize. But there's nothing in life that I'm sorry for. They say that my brother, rest his soul, Andre, Arnie Barney, he told me the word sorry. He told us never to use the word sorry. You can find sorry in any dictionary between syphilis and shit. I don't care about the two on the end, so I don't care nothing about the one in the middle. You knew what you was doing when you did it. You ain't sorry. You sorry you got caught. Now you sorry it's blood on your shirt. You know what I mean? It's sorry you did that. Sorry is a sorry word, but I'm hit you off with some real quick, no more. No good words. Say the word thief to yourself. Say the word thief when somebody calls you a thief. I want you to think about it. Thief. I want you to think about that when somebody calls you a thief. Liar. Think about that when somebody calls you a liar and a thief. Those are words that you shouldn't have affiliated with you, associated with you. You should work to get them out of your vocabulary and stop being that as your title or your definition of yourself. Just work on it. Just work on it. That's all I'm saying. I got a word, and everybody know what I call liars, thieves, people that keep confusion going, people that don't want to pay you, people at work that are always telling lies, people that always want to get you wrote up. I got a word for no good people. You know what it is, CC? What do I call them all?
Snakes.
Snakes. You snake. You're a snake. That's not my word. That's thy words. That's biblical. I didn't give you that. God gave you that. God gave you that. Everybody failed to realize that a snake used to walk, was an upright creature. Snake walked around on two legs like everything else. But after she convinced Eve, who convinced Adam to eat of it, said you will crawl on your belly for the rest of your existence, you snake you. So just some words, y'all. Get yourself a vocabulary and get some words. Hey, moving right along. First of all, thank you very much paying homage to our sponsor, Donnie Glover. BlackUSA.News, BeMoreNews.com. Don't forget this Saturday. I spent all that time over there preparing for it, started talking, and I forgot it. But it's about commitment. If you got a minute, y'all, be committed. If you like the show, be committed to stop down there for a minute and tell Gina Lee, tell CC Tates that you're proud that they won this award, that they worked hard for. They worked hard for it. They were here last night. They're here in the morning. Dr. Taylor, Dr. Sutton, on the Dr. Taylor, I worked at Taylor Manor. That was the doctor's name. So I keep slipping up saying Dr. Taylor. Shout out to the great Taylor Manor that's now Shepherd Pratt. Anyway, but these people work hard to do these things with these podcasts. Donnie showed me it's a lot to it, y'all. So I don't care if you got a moment, just step down there. I'm going to give it to you after this, and say hello if you want, have a drink. You know what I mean? Hooty hoo, woo woo, hands up, clap clap. You know what I mean? Whatever you have to do to tell somebody you're proud of the moment that they had. Look at them both keep smiling. Look at them both. They both can't stop smiling. They're proud of their award. Donnie
That's
Glover's
right.
putting together, Donnie Glover's putting together a format for people to be proud of. Man, please, if you can't help follow this brother. This is an awesome cat, man. This cat means well. We didn't come on here telling everybody, please give me some money. We didn't come on here asking anybody for a bunch of time or the commitment for that, but we just asked you for a little bit of your time to show some support. Black businesses, y'all, please try to spend with black businesses. I'll leave you with one last thing. Here's the thing I always got to tell people. Just because I'm your friend, just because you know me, does not mean we own Party Marty's Moon Bouncer. Shameless self-promotion. 410-800-6628. Party Marty's Moon Bouncers, 410-800-6628. We're a kids party rental company. We rent moon bouncers, water slides. We have the largest water slide selection in Baltimore. Anyway, just because somebody has a business, stop always asking them to give you a discount. You go into the bar and that man tell you that Alizé is $12.95. You put $12.95 in the spinner. If they tell you that you got to go to Walmart and that suit was $25, you pay it. When you go to Casanars, you pay it. You go to all these places, you pay everybody. As soon as you're a black person or a black business has something, I tell you that my moon bounce is $165. Why do you say you have $150? Why do we do that, panel? I mean, what's the concept? When you get in there and get gas, if that gas went up, you need gas, you put it right in there. I say this because the lady says to me, and she didn't understand what she was saying yesterday. She said, I want to know, can I get a better deal on the moon bounce? Because I got the game truck, and the game truck cost $450, and I was at the market, and I spent $380. I had to get him his tennis. You explain to me how you paid everybody else and thought that sounded good to me to say that you want to short me. I'm appalled, using my word, I'm appalled that you didn't think that was a slap in my face. I'm appalled that, y'all, whatever something costs, when you're a black person, you run the business, whatever that person's price is, pay that man's price. Pay that man's price. That's what it costs. That's what it costs.
Absolutely. And just to jump in really quickly and say this, we in our community have a very warped view of what support looks like. You know what I'm saying? Because supporting your friend Supporting your homeboy you grew up with or your homegirl. Support does not mean coming to ask them to provide their goods or their services and not paying them what it's worth. I don't view that as support. I think
Exactly.
that that's taking advantage of a friendship, and that is not what it is to support. You know, you send business, you tell your people, oh, we're going to use Party Marty because we know we can get a discount from him. That's not support. That's not support because you don't go to any of these other places and ask them to discount their goods or their services. And people don't realize that it costs money to run a business. You know what I'm saying? If you pay $100 for your moon bells or you pay 185, the insurance still got to be paid on that truck. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? The storage facility, you still got to pay every month for the warehouse. You know, all of these things. So that's not, we need to do better with that. We need to do better with that and support those that support you. You know, some of these people, you'll bend over backwards and do everything in the world for them. Every event, every award, every birth of a baby, everything that happened for them. You right there front and center. But ask them to show up Saturday from 5 to 7, and they're going to have everything in the world to do that they can't come for 2 hours and just say, job well done. You
Have you
know, and
have
people
you
don't
seen them?
know
Have you seen them?
that. Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
Wait a minute. See. Have you? I don't mean to cut you off real quick, but have you seen them stand in line for 4 hours to get the new Jordans? You know what I mean? They be in line.
Or that line that's wrapped all the way around Chick-fil-A. They
Oh
got
my
all day
God.
long to
That's
sit in that line
crazy.
to go to Chick-fil-A. The 45 minutes that you spent in line going to Chick-fil-A, you can't come past and say, hey, good job, job well done. You know, and then they don't think that people should feel any type of way about it. You know what I'm saying? Well, you knew I was busy. I'm busy a lot of times when you ask me to do things too. But you make time for the things that are important to you and the people that are important to you.
Okay. On that note, CC was talking about something I have it in front of me now. Black Wall Street, Baltimore, Saturday, June the 26th, 2021, from 5 to 7 p.m. From 5 to 7 p.m. The address is 101 East 25th Street. Once again, 101 East 25th Street. There will be about 10 persons that are receiving the coveted Black Wall Street Award for working their community and work on a podcast. If you like to come out there, please stop in, say hi. If your money's a little funny, don't be ashamed. You know what I mean? If you need a chicken wing or you need a drink or something like that, Party Marty's there to support his cast. I'm there to support my wife. I'm there to support my long-term friend of 60 years. And I'm there for you. If you've come out to support the program and stop down for a minute, you took our time, I got money for a drink. And if you don't know, the next thing that's going on is Donnie Glover's birthday. It's Donnie Glover's birthday. He'll also be having the book signing while you're there. It's just a lot going on. You know, please stop in, y'all. Please. The name of it is Tierra, Terra, Terra
Sarah.
Cafe, Terra Cafe, Be More Jerk Garden. Say that 10
Terra
times fast.
Cafe, Be More Jerk Garden.
Say that 10 times fast. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Anyway, y'all, that's this Saturday from 5 to 7. All right,
And
y'all,
it's a
moving right.
black-owned business.
And
Ding, ding, ding,
black
ding,
owned
ding.
business.
Ding, ding. And it's a black owned bit. And Dr. Sutton was saying that the food is really good there. Dr. Sutton.
Absolutely.
Oh, you been there,
Ooh.
Gina?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Many
that's
times.
oh my goodness. Well, that's great. Hey, Twala, that's out there. Twala Muhammad has something for you. Gina Lee. She says, make sure to mention to a person like myself, Maurice Tate, that not sure who Opel Lee is. Who is Opel Lee?
Opal Lee.
Opal Lee. If you could read Opal the right way, then thank a teacher.
Okay,
Go ahead.
okay, I'm segueing back in with
Yeah.
Party Marty. Let's talk
There
with
we
my
go.
second topic. Opal Lee. Opal Lee is now known as the grandmother of Juneteenth. She's a 94-year-old former educator from Texas, and she grew up in Fort Worth. And then on Juneteenth, 1939, at 12 years old, a white mob raided and burned down her family home because they were celebrating. And so in 2016, she decided she was going to walk 1,400 miles from her home in Fort Worth to Washington, D.C., in an effort to raise awareness and support for the making of Juneteenth as a federal holiday. Well, as you know, um, Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, signed the bill last Thursday on the 17th that Juneteenth is now a federal holiday. And this 94-year-old lady was ecstatic that, that this actually happened.
And she's
And
still alive.
yeah, she attended the signing of the bill. And Joe
They
Biden.
had they had her on CBS this morning when the bill was signed, and her reaction was so priceless. She just hooped and hollered. It was funny, but it was just you would have to see
It's a
it.
Yeah.
feel good. Let's hear some more, Gina.
And Joe Biden got on his knee to greet her. And
Oh my
I'm
God.
that just shows you the kind of character that he has. You know what I'm saying? So, just
That's
to
wonderful.
remind you that Juneteenth represented the time when the Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas, and announced that the enslaved Africans had been emancipated. So we need to, I just want to give a hands up for Miss
Hands
Opal.
up, panel. Hands up.
She was,
Hands up.
she was determined to get that bill passed, and it did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That
That
was a
is
feel good
awesome.
story. That
It
was a feel
is.
good story. I meant to say something. This is a joke, and when I say stuff, sometimes take it with a grain of salt. So this don't stop taking everything in life seriously and stuff like that. But to the wonderful people out there, God knows y'all like matches. Y'all like matches. Golly, I bet y'all buy a lot of cigarette lighters. Everything that they do, they set fire to it. Every time they get mad, they set fire to something. I mean, what's the damnedest thing? I mean, is it because you got some cigarettes in your pocket, or where do y'all get all the matches from? I mean, it's just something. It set fire to every damn thing. I'm gonna burn the cross, set fire to it. The house, set fire to it. The church, set
That's be,
fire
that's
to it.
because they always want to claim that they want everybody to know it's them, and they want to stand up for what they believe in. But they definitely don't want to be caught representing what they believe in. They think they burning the evidence.
Look, I saw a joke yesterday. It's not a joke, really, though. A lot of people say I don't beat my children. Okay, yeah, but y'all weren't saying that back in 1789 and the 1861.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Things that make you go,
Hmm.
And just on that topic, real quick, it just made me think of something that these kids these days, we often talk on the podcast tonight about becoming a village for these children,
Okay.
but the this is the generation of children that nobody can say anything to.
I know.
Nobody can discipline. When we was grow, and I know that y'all are a little older than me, but even during the time when I was growing up, your neighbor would whip your behind and send you home to your mother. We hook school or something like that. We knew we had to stay in the house because we wasn't going to be out there and somebody that knew our parents see us out in the street, because they'll jack you up themselves. And now this is the generation of children that nobody can say anything to. Don't holler at my child. Don't say nothing to my child. I don't beat my children. I don't do this. I don't do that. All the things that they don't do were the things that were done to them and their parents, and they didn't die. They did not die. So I just don't understand it, because on one hand, They want everybody to be there for their kids and do this and do that with their children. But I always tell people, I'm not going to physically discipline anybody's child. But at the same time, if your child can't be talked to, if your child can't be corrected, if your child is always right, please don't leave them with me. Please don't. Please don't, because that's some behavior that you need to keep at home with you, for real.
Yeah.
Because that's the same thing if you are trying to warn them of something that's dangerous and you can't say anything to your children. I just don't understand where a lot of these parents get these concepts from.
I think God decided I wasn't gonna be one of those good parents, so he never gave me none because I'd been on the front page of the Afro.
Gina, I often say, and I love everybody that got little girls, and I always, think about, Lord, I wish I would have had a girl and all this. But one thing that I know for sure, God does not make mistakes,
There you
because
go.
my parenting style is too hard to have girls. Because Maurice will tell you, I keep it 100 with my boys. Even to this day. They live in one of our rental properties just because we the landlord. Don't think we don't want our money. When the first of the month come, pay your rent. You know somewhere you can live for free, go there and live. But you can't live here for free.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because I always tell them that I taught you that a man shouldn't live off of a woman. And I'm a woman, no matter if I'm your mother or not. And you are not going to live off of me. I don't give you money. I got you a job. So if you need money, sure, I'll loan you some, but I need my money back. And Maurice always laugh at me because I always tell him he like the best girl dad in the world. You know what I'm saying? Nothing in the world is too good for his daughters or his granddaughters. He like the best girl dad in the world. But I tell him I got boys. You know what I'm saying? And I'm raising them. I want them to be men. I want them to be productive members of society. You know what I'm saying? And the way to start that is, let it start with me. The same respect that you want somebody to give me, you give the same respect to the young ladies that you date. You know what I'm saying? Nowhere in this world that I know of that you can live for free. And if it's someplace, ask them if they got a room, because I want to live there too. But everybody I know had to pay their mortgage or their rent. I always told them from when they were kids, a man don't work, don't eat. I make sure I get all that stuff in on them, because not on my watch. Mm-mm.
Hey, my podcast land. I'm with this 24 hours a day. Y'all see CC when she's up there, tell Gina for a minute. I'm with this 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? She has humbled me to the point where I know pick and choose my battles. CC is an easygoing person. When I met her at work, she was quiet. I know her from being quiet. She's, just what doesn't like confusion. You try to duck her or put extra work on her, she'll go off and do it anyhow, just because she don't want no confusion. I always think somebody trying to get over on me. I ain't doing nothing. I see the schedule and I read it, and if anybody got an extra 5 minutes worth of break, I want them to do a new schedule. You know what I mean? That's how I went CC work all day long and stuff. But it's truly amazing that now, what I'm saying, we were just co-workers. We never dated, talked, went around, flirted, nothing. We were co-workers. I was seeing somebody. My friend, rest in peace, Sylvia, died. But anyway, it's truly amazing to me how people are once you're around them all the time. You know what I mean? CC is no victim. So everybody out there from Clifton T. Perkins, the CC that y'all know is not the CC that's in my home. You know what I mean? She's easygoing and all that kind of stuff. And when she get here, y'all think Party get here. When CC get here, she already there. Because she been
But
there so long.
you know why? Because it takes so much to get me there. It takes so much to get me there. Because everything that people do, first of all, and like I always tell anybody else, sometimes with situations, you got to stop. Looking in the mirror is a very hard thing. And you have to stop to see what part did you play in this, you know? And so I always try to have a moment of self-reflection before I just fly off the handle. Like, okay, I could have said this in a different way, or could I have done this in a different way? But sometimes it just is what it is.
Yeah. Well, yo, let me tell you this part now before we, get to our last topic. First of all, Terrence, thank you for chiming in. Leroy, Brenda Bailey, as usual. Larry, everybody. I'm learning a few things, and I'm learning them on the fly. I should have been a little quicker at that. I'm learning about banners, and I'm learning about comments and stuff. It's a lot more to it with me. So I'm gonna do. I'll do better each episode. Gina Lee's taught us, don't worry about it. We'll get it right. Onward and upward. Onward and upward. You know what I mean? We're learning as we go. But I do want to say this, though. Real talk. See people. My wife used to always say, see people for what they are. But if a person tells you something, believe them. If you see that they ain't shit shit in Donnie's voice, guess what? Really, they ain't shit. If you in that relationship and you know that it ain't going nowhere, it ain't gonna change overnight. It ain't going no get no better. Sometimes move on, let it go. Let it go. You get people out here like Gina. I listen to Gina. It's funny when I see Gina as a grown woman now. I laugh about it all the time. You know what I mean? She's prominent, she's attractive, she's dainty, this and that. Gina was a thug when we came up. She, no, real talk. She was a thug. She liked fighting and stuff. But CC, she was rough. I mean, rough. We every Sunday, what we do at the pool, we rode horses. And Gina rode the horse like everybody else. She didn't hold a horse for you. You held the horse for her. Come on, let's go. We ain't got all day. We always got to stop at the big tree. Y'all know we're going to big tree, ride a bed, smoke some weed. Everybody, you always got to break. Everybody got to go ride out there to smoke. You know what I
Oh my
mean?
goodness.
But CC, Gina, she partake with everybody else, but then it's time to ride. We still want to talk. We got an hour. We getting on his horse. And Gina would want to get on the trail. She always been rough. We left from there. We shot guns. We went over there to the thing. Everybody brought their guns over there. We had rifles and stuff back in the day. We shot guns. Gina shot guns. When you see people evolving, either grow with them or get out their damn way. Grow with them or get out their way. And to the rest of y'all, either let the person grow or leave them alone. Or leave them alone.
And sometimes you gotta realize that it's gonna be people in your circle that'll stunt your growth. Sometimes you gotta purge yourself of those people in order to move on to bigger and better things. All your friends, people in your life for a reason or a season. Some people there for a lesson, some people there to be a blessing, but you got to learn the difference between the two. And sometimes those old friends don't fit into the new vision of who you're trying to be or who you're trying to become. And it's nothing personal. Some people grow, some people don't. I know people right now that they still doing the same thing they were doing 20 years ago. And that's okay. It's not up to me to judge, but it is up to me to say that I've moved on from being the person that I was 20 years ago, and I'm not going to regress just to stay your friend.
That's true. That's so true. Hey, y'all, we got 10 more minutes. Anybody got a burn desire? CC or Jeannie got a topic you want to touch on?
I'm gonna go back to, I guess, what I ended up with last night was, we really need to focus on our kids right now, because if we don't, we're going to lose a generation. These young people have not had any real formal, I'm not putting any teacher down, believe me. I know y'all have had to work within the constraints that the Baltimore City school system has allowed you to, and do the best you can with virtual learning. I'm really not putting any bad karma on teachers. What I'm trying to say is the recidivism rate of our children, they are failing at a rate now that has never been seen. And we need to reel some of these kids back in, or else you're just going to have a street full of criminals. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to, as a parent, talk to your children and find out what are they doing. Get involved. See what they're looking at on the internet. See what they're talking about with their friends. You know, get involved with their lives. Take them places and let them see things that they've never seen before, if you're able. I know everybody doesn't have deep pockets, but if you are able, take your child out of that immediate environment and show them something different, so that maybe, just maybe, you'll open up a door in their minds that they might want to strive to be something or someone. You know, it's not an easy task being a parent, I'm sure. I'm not one. So obviously God didn't figure I would be the best one to do that. But I love children. My mother was an educator. She loved children. And she would bring them home, dress them up in my clothes, do their hair, and take them to a ballet at the Lyric on her dime. You know, she would, take them out to places so they could see animals, and take them to uh, libraries so they could sit and listen to someone read them a book.
Yeah.
You know, so what I'm saying is we've got to get involved in our children, and we've got to do it early so that they have the foundation to become whatever they want to be, whatever their little minds think they, if they want to be a fireman, if they want to be a political person, if they can be president, whatever their little minds think they want to be, you know, help them get there. Help them get there.
Wow,
Yeah.
Gina.
And even
Wow.
for those that don't have deep pockets, there are lots of things out here that are free or relatively cheap
Yeah.
that you can take your children to do, but you have to be invested and you have to do the legwork if it's important to you. You know what I'm saying? Take them to a museum, take them to the science center. If you don't do nothing but walk them around the harbor and show them the ships and tell them the history of this one and the history of that one. You know, when we was kids, our parents used to have us write book reports. You know what I'm saying? Like, take them to the Pratt. I don't know if the Pratt Library still does this, and Gina probably would know better than me, but they used to have times where they would have free somebody down there reading stories to the kids and all this kind of stuff like that. There are lots of things that you can, everything doesn't have to cost $1 million. You know what I'm saying? That same money that you spend to take them to King's Dominion or the trampoline park, you know, put it into something that'll enrich their mind.
Yep.
Wow. You know, once again, shout out to my panel. What an awesome job. Thank you for chiming in over there, Brittany, who's always she's on our lawyer panel. Twala, who's in the audience, she's at work. Frank, Swift Electric. Shout out to Swift Electric. You'll see, wait a minute, his number will come across as we see Swift Electric. That's an awesome person, an awesome electrical company that does all our work. And let me tell you something about Swift Electric that I like about them. Not only are they professional, they clean. You know, when they come to your house, he got a vacuum cleaner. He got the little portable thing. He don't say, y'all got a broom? Can I use your broom? This and that. He got his little
Right.
vacuum cleaner. He clean up in his area. He does all that stuff. And when he finished, man, your house is back in order. You want the lights on, but you don't want all that disarray. So I want to let you know what I shout out I say about Swift Electric. I like the way that they're professional, but they clean up behind themselves. That's important. You know, when people finish with your home, because we always got projects going on. When people finish with your home, Gina, it takes you 2 more days to get it back in order. You know what I mean? They leave
Mhm.
such a mess. You know, we're on our way now. We're on our way down. TNT Enterprise. That's my buddy Tony Split. He got several locations. He's an enterprising young man. But right now he has one of his stores on Poplar Grove and Emerson Avenue, right next to the barber shop. It's a store and a barbershop right next to each other on Emerson and Poplar Grove. Emerson and Poplar Grove, I don't know the exact address, but they out there with them dinners. So we get ready to finish up and we're going to put our clothes on and we get in the shower. We're going to do what we always do. We're going to stop down there by TNT Enterprise and scoop us up at dinner and enjoy ourselves. All right, y'all. First of all, everybody that set off and took time to spend with us and had an awesome day, please thank you for chiming in. Please thank you for chiming in. All right, y'all, let's run up out of here. Gina Lee, closing thoughts.
Well, I'm gonna stick to my old standby. I hope that everybody is getting vaccinated. Because it looks like we have a new strain.
The Delta variant.
Yeah, so I just hope that everybody, will take their health into their own hands. That's all I can say. And get the damn shot.
Get the damn shot. Before CC before you go off, we got 3 more minutes. What's the Delta variant? Go ahead. What is it? The Delta variant.
It's the Delta variant, and it's a mutation of the original COVID-19 virus. The original one was the Alpha, which is the first one, but it's a mutation. And they say it's much more infectious, that children have a better chance of being carriers. They're better transmitters than anybody else. And you get sicker, it's more deadly, and it's just like I explained on one of the earlier episodes of the show, that viruses mutate. So this is a mutation, so they say that this one is really serious, and they're expecting it to cause another surge, and unvaccinated people are the ones who are getting the sickest and dying from it. So, I know it's scary that the vaccine is new and they use you for a guinea pig and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, that's the alternative. So get the damn shot.
All right. CC, closing thought.
My closing thought is that we have to set a better example for our children. And we have to find ways to reach out in the community and be of service to our children. Just like I said, for these sharp, smooth men out here like my husband and Donnie Glover, get rid of some of them old suits, give it to some of these young men so that they can go out here and go on a job interview and feel good about themselves. Just make an investment in our children and their future.
Dr. Ted, how you doing this evening, my friend? Dr. Sutton, can you hear me? Well, he's popping in and out. Well, that's the closing thoughts. Hey, anyway, y'all, as we always...
It's good morning, Mr. Tate.
Right. He
don't
know his morning.
What I say?
Good evening. Good evening.
I was testing y'all. You passed. I was seeing if you knew it. If you were really award winners, you would have caught that. Hands up to a good show, y'all. Hands up to another great show. All right, y'all. Listen, don't forget, y'all, the 5 to 7 Tiara. Say the name of that whole place. Tiara
Cafe.
Okay.
Be More Jerk Garden.
Yeah, 101 East 25th Street. We're there from 5 to 7 while Gina Lee and CC will be receiving their Black Wall Street Award for their work on It's Party Marty, Let's Talk. Y'all, we always leave out with Eminem and how we usually do it, but now we're out in the daytime. So I have a new thing. I'm going to start figuring out. I'm going to give mine today, and then now every episode, one of the two or the people of the panel will figure out what they want to close out with or how they make they feel good. But somebody said something in one of the statements, I think, and it made me think about it. I don't know exactly who it was, but I enjoyed my audience. But it says real simple. First of all, they always say, I don't own the words to this song or something like that. You're supposed to say, who knows with it. But a good way to go, it says, when I wake up in the morning, love, dun, 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 and the sunlight hurts my eyes. But it ends real simple. Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, a lovely day, lovely day, Lovely. Come on, panel. Lovely day.
Lovely
Got a
day.
lovely day.
Lovely
Got a
day.
lovely day.
Lovely
A
day.
lovely day.
Lovely
A
day.
lovely day.
Lovely
A
day.
lovely 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 day.
Lovely
Have an
day.
awesome, lovely day, panel. Have a great day. Have a great day, Gina Lee.
Yes, sir. You
Have a
Have a
great
too.
great
day.
day, CC.
Will
Have
do.
a great day, Dr. Sutton. Have a great day, Donnie Glover. Have a great day, Podcast Land. Have an awesome day. And always remember, each one teach one. You have just now been witness of GOD, greatness
Greatness
on
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 display.
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 See y'all next Tuesday, baby. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.